first panel. It's our last Reisman panel of ClioCon, just to make sure you are in the right place. If you're an innovator, or if you're here to learn from extraordinary innovators in the legal tech industry, you're in the right place. Today, I want to introduce myself. My name's Carrie Elsner. I'm a VP of Product Marketing here at Clio. On behalf of Clio, I want to welcome everybody here at ClioCon and all of our virtual attendees as well. I have the pleasure to be joined by Joel Ferdinand of Pearson Ferdinand and Connor Malloy of the Law Center for Better Housing. I want to take a couple minutes just to share the incredible work that these firms have done to earn their award, their Reisman Awards this year.
If you ask Alexa, what was the largest law firm launch in US history, you hear all the stats on Pearson Ferdinand. It's mind-boggling to us. We started on January 2nd with 129 partners and scaling next year to over 250 to 300. We have billed, as of today, over $36 million. We are the fastest growing law firm by headcount on the globe. We believe the sky's the limit. Hi, my name's Joel Ferdinand. I'm with Pearson Ferdinand, and we go by PeerFerd. We are an international law firm with over 29 locations. We became a Clio customer as of 2024. We want to flip on its head the idea of a traditional law firm, and we want to provide everything that we struggle with as first-year lawyers, as 15-year lawyers. Because we're distributed, everything changes. We want our partners to receive the vast majority of the billable hour, and that means we're going to pass cost savings on to clients.
Pearson Ferdinand is the elite law firm of the future, and we utilize technology in a way that allows us to deliver superior legal services to our clients. We don't have physical offices. We embrace remote work fully. Lawyers don't want to be shackled to offices. It's 2024. We can decide to utilize technology that enables us to deliver superior work product to clients from anywhere in the world. Our 180 partners practice globally, and we utilize technology instead of real estate to deliver a tech-driven offering to our clients that includes Clio.
We are culture first on everything that we do. We wanted to give an environment where we have happy, well-adjusted human beings, hard stop, that are also elite, excellent lawyers. Mental health is a huge focus of the organization. By having that normalized, we believe that our folks are healthier. Happy lawyers make happy clients. Happy clients become full service.
It is a Herculean task to build a law firm from scratch and to be able to point to, within 6 months, 180 happy partners, tens of millions of dollars billed, and we're extraordinarily lucky that we have just the best people on the planet.
Chills, right? Incredible.
Being in service of others is the biggest calling we can have. When there are people out there that are victims of oppressive systems that we've allowed to exist for so long, to be able to champion their cause, that's what I want to be able to see. My name is Connor Malloy. I'm here at the Law Center for Better Housing, headquartered in Chicago, and we became a Clio customer in 2020. Over half of the people here in Chicago are renters. Tens of thousands of households face eviction each and every year. You're dealing with essentially black and brown populations on the south and southwest side that are just preyed upon by housing providers in eviction proceedings. And so they're just kind of stripped of their homes, stripped of their identity, stripped of everything that's meaningful to them. It's just a humanitarian crisis that you're watching unfold in real time.
Housing is fundamental to achieving success in society. People that are impacted by eviction are low income because they're extremely rent burdened. And Chicago, like many cities, is experiencing an affordability crisis.
One of the big things that we've done here to innovate is with the advent of Rentervention. It's a conversational AI. You can explain something that you're going through in your life, in your home, and Rentervention will help you understand that this is an issue that has legal significance, and if it has legal significance, then there's a legal remedy.
Another benefit of Rentervention is how scalable it is. Once we provide the legal content, there's no limit to how many people Rentervention can help.
In 2023, we served 18,000 clients, and that translates into about 47,000 households. We're here to get you out of that problem, and we need to be able to work very fast with people as they find themselves experiencing housing issues. And Clio allowed us to have that level of responsiveness. For me, this isn't a profession, it's a vocation. I want to be able to see somebody who thought they were absolutely powerless in engaging with a system that was never designed for them or by someone that looks like them, and be able to champion their own rights. I love that idea.
Wow. Let's give them a round of applause. Huge congratulations. I know you're both representing bigger teams and an incredible amount of work over the last year. So let's get into it. Connor, maybe we can start with you. You are our Innovation Award winner. Can you tell us about the role technology has played in that innovation?
Sure. So, especially for legal aid, for folks that are aware of the statistics that are out there concerning the justice gap, there are just so many folks that don't have access to legal services on any level. And using something, particularly this chatbot, allows us to scale up to be able to connect with people in real time, something that also is not available to most people. A lot of times they're connecting with services 9 to 5 that might be brick and mortar, and so it just essentially adds insult to injury in trying to be able to get some level of support. So that and then obviously it got a boost with generative AI because then the conversation became more conversational.
Thank you. And I'm sure there were some painful learnings along the way as you implemented something brand new. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, well, there's always, the user experience, right? And, helping people understand their own problem, because a lot of folks, the reason why they want to come to lawyers is because we can help them, right? You have a conversation with a lawyer, we can bail you out. But for some folks, right, in some communities, there's also a situation where the ambulance never comes, the police never come. And so for folks that are living in essentially like a justice desert, right, what do you do to be able to, connect with them? So, making that user experience and getting feedback from the folks that we serve was always big. And, technology, I know we heard talk about technology and the like, but it really is further down the line of priorities. It's then wrapping the technology around a good, well-intentioned process that's really going to win the day.
Amazing. Thank you. Joel, over to you. Best new law firm might be an understatement for what Pearson Ferdinand has done so far this year in just 10 months. I am dying to know how you have managed through change internally from a cultural perspective. With growth comes change, and we all know that can be incredibly difficult to work through and to hire the right types of people. Give us your secrets.
So what if I told you that change shouldn't be scary, right? So I think as human beings, the idea of change, something new, is petrifying. We're used to, as attorneys, we bill every 6 minutes, or we're billing a flat rate, or we're billing some mixed contingency, and there's a known quantity. And the idea of radically changing law, listen, it needs to happen. There's no criticism of any other law firm. We're all lawyers. We're in the same professional club, right? But it's broken. Every lawyer suffers from a severe form of PTSD. Prior job, a prior boss, a client, a judge, whatever. It's not okay. And we think being hazed is a way to grow. Michael Pearson and I and the team of now over 240 with staff, we have over 189 partners as of today, 273 days in, which is mind-boggling and incredibly humbling. We want them to feel loved, empowered, and enough just the way they are. So we focus on extremely elite lawyers. We only hire a specific pedigree, specific years out, a specific type of book. That's really easy to find. I can go on Lexis, I can run skip traces, we can see that. What's not easy to find are really well-adjusted human beings. So Michael and I personally do all the interviews. This afternoon I had my 716th interview since we've started, right?
Incredible.
We've only hired 189, so it looks like we're growing so fast. We're growing at a very specific organic cultural clip, right? We believe in servant leadership. That means there's two subsets of clients. There's the clients to whom we all bill time, right? We all have those.
But every partner, every staff, they are our family. And we start every email and every sentence with "Good morning, Pureford family," because they are. Right? And if we bleed for them, and we can reduce the non-billable through technology so they can simply be lawyers and have their lives back, they can have everything. Change can be a wonderful thing, and when it's radically inclusive and transparent, it works.
I feel that, and I must
If you
have-
start tearing up,
No,
she
I'm
did
not
this to
going
me
He
yesterday, I'll start
has
crying.
made me tear up in the past. It's because a lot of the customers we work with, there's not a customer I work with that hasn't had the experience of a very painful, working at a very painful law firm or being hazed in a way. So it means so much that we've got innovators in creating a safe environment for people to grow and do what they originally planned to do when they went to law school.
I love what Connor said. It's about a process and then technology. Look, it has to be people-centric, right? We're running a business. Profit follows. If you care about your people, they're going to care about the clients. We care about our clients. Everyone's happy, and we can pass cost savings. There's a better way to do it.
I love it. I heard a clap on that. Thank you for that. On that same token of people, we do this for clients, right? So, Connor, maybe you can talk about everything that you've done and the impact it's had on the end client experience. What have you seen? What are some examples?
So, when it comes to responsiveness, one of the big ones is a little bit about my own history. I used to actually represent landlords across Chicago, small and medium-sized landlords, and I've evicted, hundreds and hundreds of folks. And the way the court system is designed, it is like the fast food industry of legal services. You just move through these things very, very quickly. And a lot of legal aid organizations, and mine used to fit into this, when you would call a legal aid organization, you get a voicemail, and you leave a voicemail. You don't know when you're going to get a call back, if you're going to get a call back. In a lot of instances, folks were getting callbacks 7, 10 days later. So what happens is you've been likely served with a summons to come to court. And if I did my job as a landlord's attorney and I needed about 90 seconds in front of a judge, I was going to get that eviction order against you. So now when you're getting a call back from this legal aid organization that you thought was there to help you, you're now having a radically different conversation with them. So being able to pare that down, between having a system that's always on 24/7, 365, but also where we can appropriately bring humans into the loop into this process through our help desk, through our virtual clinic, that's where we use Clio. We've brought down the response time from 10 days or so to over half of our inquiries that come through the door get a response in under 30 minutes.
Amazing. So I am going to ask a couple more questions. I just want to put a call out to the folks that are here in the room. If you have questions, there are a couple microphones. You can go ahead and line up. We'll start taking questions in just a couple minutes here. So Joel, I have the same question for you. What impact have you seen on the end client experience?
So we view end clients in two ways, right? We have the end client to whom we bill, and we have the end client that's our Pureford family. To the family, listen, we just left a retreat that's very similar like this. Culturally, we look for partners that share our ethos. We are family first, right? Everyone hugs. No one shakes hands. There are tears. There's this incredible fear of missing out. Amy Epstein Gluck is in the audience, our partner and employment counsel and chair of the EPL practice group. She just did a blog post on this that once again brought me to tears. I've been crying since last week from this retreat. It's amazing to see how you can change people's lives. We're punching at a high rate. We bill 5 figures an hour, right? We're an elite law firm doing very large scale work in a very different environment. So that's great. On the end using client side, listen, consistent, continuous, and purposeful contact is the name of the game, internally and externally. I return all emails within 60 minutes, 24/7. You know this to be true. We expect everyone to do that. We have their back. So we vacation with our clients. On average, our invoices are 1/3 less than our AmLaw competitors. And it's very intentional to be able to pass cost savings on to a client in a predictable way because we can't guarantee a win. I can guarantee value add. And it's our job to know our clients, to know their business, their goals, and their verticals. So even if I'm doing something on commercial litigation relating to a business divorce, I can say, wow, as we were doing this, I saw your contracts, and on a go-forward basis, this is not a pitch for work. You should change Now we're trusted advisors. I think lots of attorneys forget we're not lawyers, we're salespeople. I want every client to be full service because we have their back. And look, a huge shout out. So one of the greatest things Clio did for us was introduce us to Spring Solutions. And Jerry Wallace, we've done some incredible automation and weird things in Clio that other folks haven't to make this go even faster. They're the best in the business in my experience. And it's been such a wonderful relationship. In that regard, we just want to keep on rolling out where the feels are important, right? How you feel and how you respect it is everything. Never want anyone to feel less than.
Absolutely. Okay, so we are here at ClioCon, where everybody is inundated with new technologies, and there's so much more in a year of the AI boom. We're all left with, what do I implement? How do I implement? Connor, maybe I can start with you on what is your advice for folks as they leave this event and go embark in implementing something new, some new technology across their firm?
In some instances, I don't mean to be anti-technology, but honest to goodness, if you're fairly analog in your practice and it kind of works for you, maybe you just keep doing that. Because a lot of times, too, I've seen where some folks in my own organization, they've taken some initiatives and fallen victim to this, is especially when you're going to go out there and maybe go sort of full-throated to implement technology, and you want to wrap up technology around an analog process that was just belabored with inefficiencies. You've now magnified that inefficient process that you once had. But if you're going to get in there, start small, right? And really think about where the client experience is at, right? Like, how are people scheduling calls with you, right? What does that look like for them? What is that black box when they're engaging with you that they are able to predict when they can have a conversation with you or what a conversation might look like? So any tools to be able to support that level of productivity, connectivity is going to be a big deal.
Amazing. And Joel, on the culture side, if you want to go implement a culture like you have created, what advice would you give to the folks who are listening?
So we keep on getting this question a lot, and I'm going to go dovetail Connor's answer. Even relative to technology, stop. What is your why? I consult with businesses globally on how to scale, start, and get big quickly. This is not the first time that Michael and I have done stuff like this. You have to know your why. When you truly know your ethos, everything else can lead from that. Otherwise, you're going to go backward. Right? And then once you have it, listen, we don't believe in a top-down approach. It's a left-to-right approach. Michael's my equal, but so is every other partner and staff in the firm. There are no exceptions, not for me or Michael. We have a 62-page attorney handbook that he and I drafted with Amy's assistance. Thank you, Amy and Landon. There's no exception, not even for me. We're radically transparent. So we run a different software that every 2 hours, as we accept credit, check, wire, and ACH, you see in real time exactly what you're making. For everyone, every partner is listed A to Z alphabetically. Why is there some opaque box of compensation? If you want to be a culture carrier, you have to carry every day. You have to live out servant leadership. And I'm going to be honest, I make 18 million mistakes a day. You have to apologize, explain the mistake directly, and promise through your actions that it's not repeated. And if you don't, you can't be trusted. This game, because law is a game, it's not just a business, it's with clients and internally. It is based on relationships and trust. And if I lie or fib or misstate or don't hit a deadline, you can't trust me. So you have to be advanced enough to get it done early. Everything should be early.
Thanks, Joel. So, Connor, we've been here for 2 days. You yourself have been inundated with all the latest and greatest technology. What are you most excited about? What are the goals? What's next? You've accomplished a lot.
The thing that bothers me day after day is the reactivity that we as a profession, or especially legal aid, the way we engage with people, where we're just sitting there in the emergency room waiting for people to show up at our door, rather than kind of going upstream and being able to look at sort of a wholeness of what people are experiencing and what they're going through. And one of the things that I'm experimenting with is particularly like AI agents, to be able to look at somebody's profile to a certain degree, from a demographic perspective, from certain tags and things like that in practice management, to see what they had been experiencing and what they might be prone to in the future, to be able to kind of create a prophylactic to be able to protect them from future harm that they might find themselves in. Because a lot of folks, especially the folks that exist within this level of poverty in America, it's about 55 million, experience a healthy, well, not healthy, an unhealthy chunk of them experiences like at least a half a dozen civil legal issues a year, right? And those compound with each other. And those are people with families that it's just causing them additional stress, and it manifests itself in other very unhealthy ways. So if you can create, healthy clients, healthy people, healthy families, that's going to pay dividends in the long run for us.
Thanks so much, Connor. Do we have any questions for the audience before I move on? You don't have to walk up to the mic. Feel free to sit where you're at and just shout. So I'm just going to repeat the question. Yeah, go ahead.
So the question was, as attorneys, our job is to mitigate risk. So how do we go to management with technology to mitigate risk? Yes? So I'm also the global general counsel of the law firm. I've been global general counsel of AmLaw law firms, companies that have sold publicly traded, private equity backed. Listen, we're all about risk mitigation. You can use technology to drastically reduce risk. So for example, internally at Peer-Ferd, I have 77 pre-approved engagement forms that we've drafted and researched. Every jurisdiction in the states, they're compliant overseas in every country except for 3. They take less than 3 seconds to auto-populate and draft. My attorneys don't get to change them. If they make any substantive change, it comes to the GC department. We respond within 60 minutes between 8 a.m. Eastern and 5:30 p.m. Eastern and get approval or change it. Why? The average attorney doesn't know what they're drafting. As a trial lawyer, I shouldn't know how to draft engagement agreements. I know the RPCs, I've taken the test, but some of these are very bespoke. Third-party payer agreements, contingent agreements, hourly, mixed contingent, IP, patent, trademark, Covell, expert. That's our job. And in this system, we've been able to utilize technology, and Spring and Jerry Wallace really helped with this. Thank you, Jerry. In creating these forms in a way that auto-populates immediately so that it's easier and reduces risk. Now I'm never worried. If I have to go collect from a client or a partner's, I don't know if I did it right. I'm positive they did. There's lots of technology like that, and it doesn't just need to be in one system. There's different SaaS products, but you need to go slow and make sure it reaches your goal. What do you think?
Risk is a tricky one, right? Because especially for some of the things that I've been working with, with generative AI and chatbots, and been doing this for several years now, right? There's also been some regulatory changes along the way. And, there was a risk, and a very real risk that some of the things that we created could have been considered UPL in our jurisdiction in particular. Mm-hmm. And we were able to get some support for the notion of what we were creating, and at least be able to move forward. But on some level, and I don't want to be dismissive of it, right? Like on some level, we as a profession, right, we need to kind of move to the edge a little bit in some instances, and kind of reassert where the center is at, right? And so if we're going to modify certain practices, and then just say, this is the way, I don't know how that looks from a more systemic level. I guess it's sort of just a case-by-case basis, but especially in the access to justice, well, I don't like to call access to justice, right? Like I like the way you worded it a second ago, Joel. Like you're providing people with the access to the chance at justice, right? And if you're going to be brokering that kind of business, you're fighting a war, and I think that you sometimes need to get a little creative on the tools that you deploy in order to fight that war.
I'll say this too, and again, this is not a criticism of other law firms. We're all in the same club. Lots of larger law firms pick up licenses, right? They'll go to bigger software providers, bigger SaaS providers. I bought a license, right? And now they're stuck with it. It's not dissimilar, so we don't have offices. We're a fully remote law firm, right? We do that because not everyone needs it. And if I have an office, I have to charge $1,900 an hour to justify the office. I don't want to do that. I want to pass cost savings on to clients. I think it's the same thing with technology. As you start looking at technology, I think that, when we're long and gone 100 years from now, hopefully longer for us, right? I think that as humans, this is going to be known as a different type of technology age. And everyone's like, oh, tech, tech, tech. Take a breath. Not everything needs a tech backing, right? Certain things do. I couldn't agree with you more. You can automate, but if you start putting too much in a system, it's going to bollocks each other up. So it still takes me back. Know your why as an organization. Know how you want to scale. What's your 1, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50-year plan? I'm not being cute. Michael and I plan out over 50 years. And we look at it on a quarterly basis to poke holes in it, because if you atrophy, you die. It can always be better. There's no such thing as perfect. And if you keep on in that direction and you know your why and it doesn't get lost, your tech stack's not going to be an issue. Because over time, you'll find the exact product you need to solve for your scale, or to solve for a practice group that's specific, or anything else you need. And that's how you mitigate risk.
Did that answer your question? It's incredible. Okay, is there any other questions from the crowd?
Y'all are easy.
Yeah. Okay, so let's leave this. I think one of the incredible things that you've done this year is actually taking some time to apply for this award. We're, as a community, the legal community is doing so many incredible things, just taking that step back to say, hey, I've done something really great, I've done something really notable, I'm going to put my name in the hat, I'm going to throw myself out there, and my team out there. Tell us about your experience as a Reisman winner and what motivated you to take that step.
So this is awkward for me, right? It's awkward because I prefer to give and not be noticed, right? And as an organization, we know we have to be noticed, and that's hard because we like to do things anonymously. You know, we just got a diversity survey from one of our largest clients, and they asked, well, what are all the things you donate for? And my response back, and I didn't mean to be flippant, was, we're not going to tell you. We do so anonymously. We don't want to be recognized for it. We believe that we need to be change agents in the world. And if you're recognized, or you put a plaque over your name or over a door, I just don't like it. So that was a hard conversation that we discussed internally. And then really, Jerry Wallace from Spring reached out and said, oh my gosh, do you know about the Reismans? Or excuse me, Reismans. I said, no, tell me about it. So well, check out the website. The application was super easy to fill out, and it was fun because we got in writing to tell our story. Mm-hmm. I love talking about our story.
Amazing.
I encourage anyone that's using Clio to apply.
Thanks,
genuinely.
Joel. Appreciate that. Connor, what about you?
Yeah, no,
I want to say that I know these two in particular are particularly humble, and this experience has been difficult for them. So, yeah, tell us what drove the step.
Like I like the idea. Like it, you know, we're in the trenches all the time doing the work, right? And this was cool to be able to sort of, you know, look inwardly and kind of get to that why, right? And being able to express it and communicate what that why was. And, you know, I love it where, you know, it's not just me, right? Like I tinker with tech and things like that, but when it comes to the people power at my organization, you know, we have several dozen attorneys, we have our legal support staff. We're one of the few organizations that actually has social workers on staff too, just because, to look at things at like a more well-rounded way, right? We can't just be, you know, using the same tools for the same types of issues. Mm-hmm. So bringing more visibility to their work, and even at the awards last night, right? Like the folks from Maryland to Hawaii that are doing this work, right? I love that there's people out there that are pushing to the edges, and then look, you know, that also leads them to look for solutions. And so being able to meet up with other people, you know, can have those kindred spirits. It's been a really, really good experience.
That is really fun.
Yeah.
Well, you're both part of an elite group of just 39 firms that have been recognized with the Reisman Award since 2017 when we launched them. I just want to be the last one, I'm sure not the last one today, but the last one in this hour to wish you a huge congratulations on that achievement. And we will be available after the session if you have any questions one-on-one, or if you want to talk to these folks. They will also be at the after party after dark. So we'll see you there. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.